This movie is not the one DC fans need, and it's not the one they deserve. Nor is it the one they want. It's just sort of there. What up, Five Knuckle fans? I just saw Batman vs. Superman, and it was meh overall. I can't tell whether or not I liked or didn't like this movie. I'll have to reflect on that even more. But the fact that I do have to reflect on that shows kind of the problem with this movie. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, we have Batman, Caped Crusader, Vigilante, taking on Superman in this movie. And while the Marvel movies, every hero that appeared in the Avengers had their own standalone movie, this one doesn't, so they have to put in Batman's backstory into this one to account for the new actor. And it was a really weird and clunky half hour. So we start out with when he was a kid to Metropolis being torn apart, then like 3 dream sequences within the first 30 minutes of the movie. It felt really weird. It felt Zack Snyder, but it felt not like Batman. So overall, what would I say about this movie? I'd say in a general sense, if you're a fan of DC Comics and you're a fan of DC movies, you'll probably like this. You'll probably sit down and enjoy this. If you're not that big a fan of the comics and you don't really know much, this is going to be a confusing ride for you because they really just tack on information and backstory as they go. I think the main problem is, of course, the characters. While the characters weren't played badly, their motivations and their abilities are a little inconsistent. More particularly with Lex Luthor, I wasn't really sure what his overall end goal was in the movie. Aside from, kill Superman, but it was the reasons for killing Superman that were confusing. And also in this, some characters possess knowledge of others, and it's never really explained how they came across this. I'll get into that more in the spoilers, but yeah, it was weird. Also, the same thing that I complain about any other iterations of Superman. How does nobody know this guy is Clark Kent? Clark Kent writes stories about Superman and, would have pictures so nobody could look at the picture of Superman and then look at Clark Kent and go, hey, you guys look very strangely similar aside from the glasses. Nobody brings it up. Some people, do kind of figure it out, and it's never explained why they can see it but nobody else can. But I'll get into that later in the spoiler section. There's going to be a lot going on in the spoiler section, let me tell you. But in terms of how they were played, I never really got that much hate for the Man of Steel Superman. He's a different interpretation, so, I'll leave that be as it is. He's not a little Boy Scout. I wouldn't say he's uninteresting. I mean, I kind of like him. I'm just fairly indifferent about him. Batman in this one, he was pretty good, Ben Affleck, he did a good job playing Batman. But as I say with Christian Bale, he doesn't play a good Bruce Wayne. One thing you'll notice about him and Christian Bale is, whenever they act like Bruce Wayne, they always come across as someone pretending to be normal. Batman in other iterations, say for example the animated series, he did fine. He acted like a normal, happy, philanthropist human being. It was tough to see this person as Batman. But in this one, you'd kind of figure it. You kind of figure with their personalities and the way they present themselves that something is not right up there. We, of course, know something isn't right up there, but come on, guys. But in an effort to hide it. So yeah, Wonder Woman is in this, and I felt she was probably handled the best. A lot better than Batman, We're given a simple backstory for her. We kind of figure, she's a meta-human. She has, this backstory, and it was handled well. It was handled a lot better than Batman's. Granted, She's not in it as much as Batman, so I can understand that. But it would have been a good model to go off of. Yeah, the first 30 minutes in this movie were really weird. But I guess for good things with this movie is that the fight sequences were pretty cool. I mean, that's what Zack Snyder is known for. Just cool fight sequences, interesting to watch. And there was like one really cool villain moment in the movie. I'm not gonna spoil what it is, but when you see it happen, you'll know what I'm talking about with the T. And let me say, yeah, more moments like that would have been cool, but there weren't. It's tough to say. I want to give this either a 3 or a 2 out of 5. I'll go 3. I mean, it's not poorly made by any means, but I still don't consider it that great of a movie. It does kind of deserve a little bit of the hate it's getting. I wouldn't say this is the worst superhero movie of all time, or like the worst movie of 2016 or anything like that, but it definitely wasn't the best DC could have done. It definitely shows why Marvel is sort of dominating the movie industry right now. So yeah, 3 out of 5. And don't go in expecting much either. You know, set your expectations low. I know that's a bad thing to be saying about any movie. You shouldn't have to lower your expectations, but for this one, it's not going to be the great blockbuster masterpiece we were all sort of hoping for. Alright, spoiler time. Here's where I get into the spoilers, and yeah, there's quite a bit of them. So, my first grievance with this movie is Lex Luthor. How I never really got what he was doing. Like, he wanted to kill Superman, but he killed like a shit ton of people to get it done. He's all like, oh, look at this guy. Look at all the bad things he can do. It's like, dude, you killed like a bunch of innocent soldiers and blew the shit out of that one building, killing hundreds. I didn't get it. I mean, if it was all for power, or you can't just say he's crazy. That's not good enough for me. You have to, like, maybe alert it to maybe he considers himself to be a god. Maybe he wants to have power through fear or something like that, but it's never really said. Also, why the hell is Lex Luthor the only one to figure out who Superman is? How come nobody else could figure that out? And he had it down, like he figured out who he was, he figured out where his mother was, he figured out all of this bullshit. Like he figured out all this bullshit, but nobody else can? Superman doesn't even wear a goddamn mask, so how come only Lex Luthor knew who he was? And for that matter, what was with that one moment in the end where Batman was able to save his mom? How the hell did he know where they were? I know he went to that place earlier, but how in the hell did he know that's where they kept her? There's no way he could have known that. No way. Batman kills a lot of people in this movie. Like, you know, we always have him as this person who doesn't kill anyone. No, he definitely kills people, and I don't care what you argue, like, he's slamming into cars, he's flipping them over, he's blowing shit up, he's ramming into shit. He shoots people too, and not just in the... He's like me. And not just in that really weird goddamn dream sequence that made no sense whatsoever. Actually, I'll get into that. What was with that dream sequence? So, it's the future, and Batman is fighting against the Superman, and of course, there's the weird bug alien things that are attacking, but they're not what Batman is fighting against. Batman is fighting against the humans, and he gets killed and wakes up, and all of a sudden there's... I don't know who the hell it was. I'm assuming it was the Flash, but some guy shows up and he's like, oh, he was right about you. Oh, you were right about him. Lois is the key, and vanishes, and he wakes up. So, it was a dream within a dream, but oddly enough, the dream with all the weird demon things that were never explained made much more sense than the time travel thing. And nobody even got it in the theater either. Like, they were sort of scratching their heads and being like, what? That's exactly my response. What the hell was with all these goddamn dream sequences? You just have to have one goddamn dream sequence to tell me he's afraid of Superman. That's all you need. So, yeah. In the end, with Apocalypse, that fight was okay. I mean, I kind of agree that Apocalypse was a badass villain that shouldn't have turned into, you know, mindless monster that destroys things. I mean, he's not the goddamn Cloverfield monster. He was like a sentient dude who could think and talk. But, you know, different interpretation, different adaptation, that's fine. Creative liberties, all that stuff. Also, I knew he wasn't going to die at the end. Like, I can't be the only one that didn't see that coming. Like, they tried. They tried so hard to make me think, like, yeah, we really have the balls to kill off Superman. But they're making a goddamn Justice League movie. I know they're not killing off Superman. But they really put in the effort to make me feel like he was dead. And, yeah, it's revealed at the end that he's still alive and all that stuff. And it's pretty much implied, like, yeah, we're gonna go find the other DC guys, because apparently, I guess it's implied that Lex Luthor contacted aliens or something. Because, you know, he keeps going on about, oh, we sent the message to the stars, the god is dead, and stuff like that. Like, okay, first of all, Jesse Eisenberg wasn't Lex Luthor in this. He was goddamn Jesse Eisenberg. Some of the time he was funny and I liked watching him, but he wasn't really the methodical evil genius. He more seemed like the methodical evil genius's son, desperately trying to be like his dad. He felt like Seth Green in the Austin Powers movies to his dad. Like someone who's really trying and he's entertaining to watch, but it's easy to tell the difference between him and goddamn Dr. Evil. Just like it's easy to tell Jesse Eisenberg's interpretation from the Lex Luthor we all know. But once again, adaptation, different interpretation, creative liberties, and all that stuff. That was overall I had with it. It's just, characters knew things they shouldn't have known, and it was never explained why. There were numerous scenes that shouldn't have been in there. There were so many questions asked. Things were obvious as they go along. But yeah, overall, like, I guess it's fine. I didn't really like the movie, but I guess it's fine overall. It just had a lot of things that bothered me about it. And I guess you can consider them nitpicks, but, you know, they affected the film in big ways, so what can I do? Also, if you want to hear me incoherently rant about other films, leave a comment down below. Also, like and subscribe to our channel. And if you have a movie you want me to review, even if it was released in the 1920s, just leave a comment, I'll watch it. You want me to do a review of The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari? I'll do that.
Doctor Who.
But anyways, ciao, thanks for watching, stay tuned.